Herself, you aren't scared of him, the voice asked.
Of course not. He looks like Theodore. Yeah, yeah.
Theodore.
We're doing charades now.
Yeah, Theodore. That's right. The figure in the middle was more clearly rendered. Its face was chiseled, its features distinct. It was clearly a bear, and a single metal beam stuck out from the top of its head as well. Charlie was puzzled for a moment, then smiled.
For the top hat,
She said with confidence. The last form was perhaps the most frightening. A long metal clamp protruded from its empty face in the place where a mouth might go. It was holding something on a platter. Its metal structure looked like a jaw, wires running down the shroom spaghetti, up and down the frame and out of the sockets.
that one's scary. So is this like a flashback?
Yeah.
Like what happened before?
We didn't really get far. It's just,
Well, like quick stuff. You said.
memory took over her. And then she's in her father's place again.
Whoa.
So we're outside with John at her father's house.
And she was thinking about their almost kiss.
Yeah. Well, this part will look like a cupcake. Her father pressed on the top and jaw snapped shut, making Charlie jump then giggle. Suddenly her laughter stopped. She had been so distracted she'd forgotten.
I'm not supposed to stand here. I don't stand here.
Her hands were trembling. How could she have forgotten?
The corner.
She looked at the ground, unable to lift her eyes, unable to move. One of her shoes was untied. There was a screw next to her foot, an old piece of tape, opaque with dirt. There was something behind her. Charlie! It was John. Charlie! She looked up at him.
Sorry, just lost this place.
She stood and took a step forward, positioning herself in the place she remembered. She glanced behind her if memory might manifest. The corner was empty, there was nothing. She knelt again and put her hand on the ground, fishing around until she found a small screw in the bare dirt. She palmed it, then looked closer. There were small holes in the ground, exposed when she moved the loose dirt. Charlie ran her fingers over them thoughtfully.
Shit, I was about to say, who the fuck is she?
Charlie! I have something to tell you! There was something urgent in John's voice. Charlie looked around the workshop and stood up.
I love uniforms, woman!
Yeah.
Can we go outside? She said. I can't breathe in here.
Yeah, of course, he said.
No, stay in there, suffocate.
He followed her out into the yard and back to the hide-and-seek tree. She was tired, a wrung-out exhaustion deep inside. She would be fine in a minute, but she wanted the place that held only silly childhood memories.
She's tired from walking?
She was tired from memories.
Yes, memories. They're so exhausting.
She sat down on the grass, leaned against the trunk, and waited for John to talk. He held himself cross-legged in front of her, a little stiffly, smoothing his pants. She laughed.
Are you worried about getting dirty?
Times change.
Kinky, said the voice. What do you have to tell me? She asked, and his face grew serious.
I should have something a long time ago. When something happens like that, you don't trust your memory. You don't trust your own mind.
What are you talking about?
Sorry. He took a deep breath. I saw something that night that Michael disappeared.
What do you mean?
Remember we were sitting on the table by the stage, the animals were going crazy?
I remember, Charlie said. It had been bizarre. Their movements of sitting. They were moving too fast, bending and spinning, cycling through their limited programmed moves over and over. They seemed frantic, panicked. Yes, that's what robots can feel. Charlie was mesmerized. She should have been afraid of them, but she was not. She saw in their tearing motion a kind of desperation. She was reminded for a moment of dreams, of running dreams when the world depended on her going. Just 10 steps forward here, her body could only move in a slow motion. Something was wrong, terribly wrong. The opposite body of the animals on stage crashed robotic limbs in all directions, their eyes rolling in their sockets. What did you see? Charlie said to John, now shaking her head as though she could.
There was another mascot, a bear.
Freddy! Charlie interrupted without thinking.
No, not Freddy.
John took her hands as if trying to calm them both, but he let go before he spoke again.
It was standing right near us, next to our table, but I wasn't looking at. But it wasn't looking at the stage like everyone else was. The technician came over, remember? And even he was just watching the animatronics. I guess he was trying to figure out what was happening. I looked over at the mascot and then back at me. He stopped.
John, what?
Then the image on stage stopped moving. I looked over at them, and then we all turned back around. Michael was gone, and so was the mascot.
Oh, so they can teleport. Good to know. Charlie stared at him in disbelief. You saw the kidnapper, she said.
I don't know what I saw. It was all chaos. I don't even think about it. I don't make the connection. It was just another animal at Freddy's. I don't think about who might have been inside it. It was just, I was a kid, you know? You figured the grown-ups already knew everything, you know?
That is a good theory. Grown-ups need to be more protective of their kids. Yeah, Charlie said. I know. Do you know anything what the person looked like? It was in a fucking suit. I'm pretty sure he wouldn't see the face. John was staring up at the sky as if he were seeing something Charlie could not.
Yes?
Oh, so you can see through suits. Okay, good to know. He said. His voice was deliberate, steady.
The eyes. They were all I could see. But I still see them sometimes, like they're right in front of me. They were dead.
What?
They were dead, just dormant. They still moved and blinked and saw, but whatever was behind them had died a long time ago.
He fell silent. It was growing dark. There was bright, almost unnatural shade of pink across the western sky. I think you would mean a sunset. And Charlie shivered. We should go get the car, she said. It's almost time to meet everyone.
Yeah.
John said, but he didn't move right away, still staring into the distance. John, you have to go, you fucking idiot. Charlie said. He seemed to come back to himself slowly.
Yeah, we should go.
He got up and brushed off his pants and grinned at Charlie.
Race you?
He said, and took off running. Well, that was a terrible race. Charlie chased after him, her feet pounding the asphalt and her arms swinging free. You had to describe a run.
What were you gonna say? You already forgot in that half page that we read.
Well, if it was the hold on a sec, that was me pulling up my pants.
No, not when you got up. Dull eyes, dead inside.
Was he blind?
I don't think he's blind. I think they're just trying to say that his eyes look like, you know how the anime characters sometimes get when their eyes get like really dull all of a sudden. I think that's what they were trying to put in there, but it sounded like he was blind.
Oh,
I know, I saw that and I was like, the fuck is that?
what's that art style?
I don't know. It's like you know, elementary school kiddies. They have like the little things in their classroom. That's what mine do.
He goes,
Fuck, who was Marla again? You were. Okay. Charlie and John were the last ones to the mall. When they pulled up, the others were gathered tight in a circle in front of Marla's car.
every time I see his face, I always laugh because he's not terrified. He's just what fuck.
As if sharing a conspiracy.
Come on!
Marla said before they had walked all the way to the group. She was bouncing on the balls of her feet as if she were ready to run for the door of the abandoned building. Everyone but Charlie and John had changed their clothes, wearing jeans and t-shirts, things we should do for exploration. And she had a brief moment of feeling out of this place.
Oh, let's go. Oh shit, my bad. At least I didn't wear a dress.
Charlie thought.
Let's go.
She said. Marla's impatience seemed to be contagious, or maybe it just gave Charlie an excuse to let her real feelings come to the surface. She wanted to show Freddy's off to the others. I will read it again. She wanted to show Freddy's off to the others.
Freddy's.
Boy, they've already been to Freddy's when they were tiny.
Why would you go visit a rundown building? Just go to Chuck E. Cheese for Christ's sake.
That is an old rundown building.
Laugh, 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 cough, cough. Hold up. John said, look at Jessica. Did you explain everything? Jessica. Who the fuck's Jessica?
Okay.
Jesus fucking Christ.
She said.
What else is there?
He looked thoughtful for a moment. I guess nothing, he said. Oh no, here I go, Carlton. I brought more lights, Carlton said, and he helped up the 3 flashlights of varying sizes. He tossed one to Jason, a small one, a elastic headband attached. Jason turned it on, fixing around his head, and began moving ecstatically in waves
Why
and
the hell would you
circles,
turn it on before you could work?
making the light bob and dance.
Blind yourself.
Said Charlie, even though he was not making a sound.
Okay. Sounds like Miss Brooks.
Jason!
Marla whispered.
Turn it off! We can't attract attention, remember?
Jason gleefully ignored them, spinning off into the parking lot at the top.
I told him he's not good, he has to wait in the car. Well, good, he might as well wait in the car, that'd be much better.
Marley told
Marley. That's the
Marla
shit name.
told Charlie quietly.
But now that we're here, I'm not sure which place is creepier.
She eyed the bare
Wait, did you
branches.
just compare the car to that place?
I don't know what she meant by that.
Because to me, it sounds like she just compared the car creepy as this place, and it's like, I'd rather go wait in the car.
Uh-huh.
I don't care if it's hot as dicks, I'd rather go wait in the car.
She eyed the bare branches.
Lesbian.
Or, no, I just go, I don't care if it's cold, I would wait in the car.
She eyed the bare branches overhead, dragging in the wind, threatening to reach down and grab them.
Or we can feed him to Foxy.
I don't think that would be smart, seeing the bite of 87 that we talked about last night. I don't think that's very smart.
Also, do you know the show Kim Possible?
Yes.
Doesn't that look like him?
Yes.
It's a crossover.
Okay, just for the audience, if we ever get an audience, don't try to throw your brother's head into a mechanical thing. It won't end well. Charlie winked. She went to her.
Look at this logic.
I made a horrible decision. She went to her trunk and hefted out the police flashlight, but she did not turn it on. Instead, Carlton switched on two of his smaller lights and handed one to Jessica. They headed into the mall, knowing where they were going and what was waiting for them there. Charlie, John, Jessica, and Carlton moved through the empty spaces with a sense of purpose, but the others kept stopping to look around. Come on! Oh, God. Jessica said impatiently as the mall gazed up at the auditorium dome.
You can. Oh, Lamar. You can see the moon.
He said and pointed. Next to him, Marla nodded, mimicking his posure.
It's beautiful.
She said, although she could not see it. Is she blind too? From a distance, they heard footsteps echoing in the emptiness. Hey, over here! John hissed, and they hurried as quietly as they could. They could not run fast for the fear of making
So
noise.
when they go there, they don't bring a phone or anything.
No, and in one of these nights, Dave catches them entering or exiting, I can't remember which one, and he's like, oh, you're not supposed to be here. They're like, oh shit, a security guy, we need to run. And he's like, no, kids, I want you to stay here, I'm going to show you something.
Yeah.
And then he's like, yeet, he takes Carlton and throws him into a spin rock, and he's like, you're going to die, bitch. And Jason's like, oh no, Carlton's gone, he took him, and Officer John's like, the fuck do you mean
Why
by
do they
that?
go here in the first place?
Just to revisit memories, that's the only explanation that I could find.
Just go into your brain and revisit memories.
Like, the only reason for this, the only purpose for this book is to revisit memories from Carly's.
Carly's.
Charlie's childhood.
Okay.
Let's say I don't remember that person. I know I'm bad with names, but
And
Jesus.
I keep combining their names.
Even I can write a better plot for the fucking fan character.
And so they walked, fast but careful, hugging the walls. They entered the black void of the department store, creeping along the walls in the shadows until they reached the break in the wall. John held the hanging plastic obscured the opening as the others maneuvered around the scaffolding. Jason was slow. I still don't understand why the fuck you would decide to build around a restaurant. Because it's more work to build around it than to just get a fucking wrecking ball and knock this fucking thing down.
because if you're doing what they're doing, you're not only having to build around it, you're having to continually maintain it to make sure it meets building codes. And keep it clean.
Please get that. Don't let it fall. Well, don't. Get it?
Pretty sure it is.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
I'm scared of spiders, and I just saved you from one.
Well, I'm more terrified of spiders.
Yes, I know. You took my pinky just to smash a little tiny one. Okay, fuck, wait.
Let me just smash a tiny one.
Creeping along the shadows until they reached a breaking in the wall. As they moved over to the scaffolding, Jason was slow and Charlie put a hand on his shoulder to hurry him up. As they stared into the opening, a strong beam of light swept the room, scanning and down the walls. They ducked through the plastic and ran down the alley to where the others were crouched on against the wall. "He saw us!" Jason whimpered, alarmed, running straight for his sister. Oh no, he's a chihuahua. Shit.
Satan chihuahuas.
Fucking devil child. But I'm gonna carry her anyways, peeps. I'm a fucking retard.
I like this picture, so this person created their own perfect trying, and people were asking all these questions, and that's her answer. I don't know.
Marla, top of the page right here.
What is up with these?
I don't know, Marla
She's a
said.
snake.
They waited. Oh no, we got chihuahuas and snakes now. They waited. Charlie was next to John at the time, and after the moment by the tree, whoever it was, she was very most likely uncomfortable, aware of him. They were not quite touching, but he seemed to know exactly where he was, an awkward sixth sense. She glanced at him, but his eyes were fixed on the opening in the hallway. They could hear the guard's footsteps now, clear in the empty space, each one distant. He was moving slowly, deliberately. Charlie closed her eyes, listening.
It's not dead.
Where is it?
In your lap now.
Oh, dude, it's not dead.
There it is. It's dead now.
Are you sure it's dead?
Yep,
Okay, just squish with your finger, just make sure.
I did. I squished it with little things. Fuck, where was I? God damn it. She could tell where he was from the sound. She thought, getting closer and farther, crisscrossing the open room like he was hunting for something. The steps came right up to the entrance of the alley and stopped. They all held their breaths.
He knows.
Troy thought, but the steps started again. She opened her eyes and saw the light receding. He was going away.
Wait,
My thing is, okay, David. Fuck, not David. Dave. David's my character. What the fuck am I talking about? Dave is the night guard that keeps patrolling this place. It's his job. It's really not his job. But I don't understand why he's letting them go into the pizzeria. If he knows they're there and he knows they're coming back each night, why not just go ahead and kill them and be done with it?
You gotta make more room for more chapters.
But yeah, because if he killed him right here, we'd only be 4 chapters in with 106 fucking pages of bullshit.
106 pages
That'll be
too
the
long.
shortest book.
Yep. They waited. They waited, still motionless, until they could no longer hear the tapping of his hard-soled shoes. She and John both stumbled a little as they stood. Did I call you when I come out when I get home?
Yeah.
And she realized they had been leaning against each other without realizing it. Oh my God, we get it. You like John. Stop it. She didn't look at him. Instead, she set off taking the heaviest thing off the wooden shelf.
This would be a horror book, yet they try to make it like a romantic novel, and it's like, please stop, just stop.
Lamar.
Will I be needing this?
Lamar asked, "Your fucking voice is great for him." As Charlie handed
Hey,
him a
I picture him as
bucket.
being like some kind of cowboy,
Yeah.
just riding on like a horse animatronic to victory.
As Charlie handed him a bucket with a saw sticking out of it.
We have to move the shelf.
Jessica said.
Jessica, my God, I'm about to take over your part for you.
Jessica, Charlie, Carlton, I said it right this time, and John got back into place and moved the shelf. Lamar tried to find a place to help, but there was not really much room. Mala just waited.
Oh, Mom. I'm better suited to supervising.
She said when Charlie mock glared at her. This time, the screaming of metal door was not as loud, as if it was no longer protesting their entrance quite so strongly. Still, Marla and Jason covered their ears.
You think that's not going to bring the guard?
Marla hissed. No, because he's a killer. He knows you're there. You're fucking... Okay, if there was a night guard patrolling this building every night, and he kept... And I knew he saw us, but he went past the place on purpose, I'd want to get my ass out of there, because then I know he's planning something.
Oh, I gotta go.
Peace.
What kind of logic is that?
That's book logic.
Bad book logic.
You know what's funny? It's even the worst kind of movies have a better plot than that book. And that's sad because I've seen some awful movies.
The Blair Witch Project. 30 minutes to the ground. That's all it is.
Someone called me and I'm trying to reverse search the number.
Okay, you're Charlie again. Do your little voice. Charlie shrugged.
Didn't last time.
She said, I know he saw us. Jason said again. The others ignored him. His flashlight went right over me, he insisted. You're the reason people get killed, Jessica.
I know I am.
It's really okay, Jason. We thought he saw us last night too, but he was fine.
Okay, I know he's not blind, but if I had never read this book, he'd either be A, blind, or B, a fucking retard. Jason looked dubious, and Lamar bent over him his eye levels. Hey, Jason, he said. What do you think the guard would do if he saw us?
Shoot us?
Jason whimpered, eyeing Lamar warily. Worse, Lamar said gravely. Community service. No, I'm pretty sure they just want to shoot you. I don't think this night guard really takes kindly to visitors. At least all these things have periods. And not da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. We're doing Morse code. Da-da-da. Jason wasn't sure what it meant, but he held his eyes open wide as though it was something terrible. We leave him alone, Marla whispered amused. He didn't see us, Jason asserted himself, though clearly unconvinced. Charlie turned on the big flashlight and saw it down the hallway. Okay, when a 10-year-old is smarter than a 19-year-old, you need help. When a 32-year-old man is more idiotic than a 19-year-old kid with the same names, you have a problem.
Oh, my mom is here. Call me as soon as you get home. I have nothing to do today.
I will, definitely, 100% will call you.
Like, you don't even have to ask. Just call me.
All right.